Did you think 68 sacks was the worst? This could destroy Caleb. The franchise has 3 silver bullets to save its offensive line. Will they use them or repeat the disaster? First bomb. A Pro Bowl guard with ties to the coach is looking for an imminent trade. The Rams have already packed his bags, just days to steal him. Second missile. A top 5 center in free agency. But Atlanta has already opened the exit door. If we don't pay up, will another team bury us? $80 million at stake. And a huge third strike. Would you sign a 2-time Pro Bowl tackle at 30 years old to protect Williams today? Baltimore is sweating over their salary cap. This isn't just theory. These are real options that will decide whether we fall or rise up. You decide. Will we go down with Braxton Jones or break the curse? Click subscribe and vote now, or the season bleeds. Out before July. Attention, Bears Nation. A bombshell just dropped in the NFL market. Do the Chicago Bears need to improve their offensive line? Of course they do. And has an opportunity just popped up that could change everything? Absolutely. Jonah Jackson, offensive guard for the Rams, has just been given permission to seek a trade. Yes, you heard that right. A Pro Bowl caliber guard with direct ties to our coach Ben Johnson. This is nitrogen monoxide coincidence, folks. Let me tell you something. Ryan Poles, our general manager, promised to be aggressive this offseason. What does being aggressive mean? I'll tell you this. It means not settling for mediocrity. It means going after real talent. And when a guy who made the Pro Bowl in 2021, under the guidance of your current head coach, suddenly becomes available, I ask you, shouldn't we at least pick up the phone? Jackson signed a significant contract. With the Rams last season 3 years, $51 million. But he suffered a shoulder injury in training camp that landed him on injured reserve in 2024. And then he was benched. A Pro Bowl level player left riding the bench. But I believe everyone deserves a second chance, especially when they have the kind of talent this guy has. Spoke with experts who closely followed Jackson's career in Detroit. You know what they told me? That after being selected in the 3rd round of the 2020 draft, Jackson started every single game in his first 2 seasons. That in 2021, he was named to the Pro Bowl. But then injuries hit in 2022 and 2023, and his performance took a hit. Now, I ask you, isn't this exactly the kind of situation where a change of scenery can revitalize a career? Of course IT is. The Bears desperately need to find Tevin Jenkins' replacement at left guard. And here we have a player who already knows Ben Johnson's offensive system from their time together in Detroit. The chemistry is already there. Now, let's talk numbers. If the Bears or any other team decide to trade for him, Jackson's salary for 2025 would be $9 million, with another $9 million in 2026. Is that a lot of money? Yes. Is it worth it? I think it could be. The Rams will likely release him anyway before March 12th, when his $8.5 million roster bonus becomes guaranteed. This is an opportunity. The Bears could offer something as little as a conditional 6th-round pick to secure him. Maybe even swing a late-round pick swap in the process. Picture this. Jackson going head-to-head with Ryan Bates for the starting left guard job. Real competition. Isn't that exactly what we need to elevate our offensive line? And let's be real. The Bears' offensive line play last season was unacceptable. Our rookie quarterback needs protection. Our running backs need lanes. And I'll tell you this, if we don't fix the offensive line, nothing else matters. Yes, Jackson has an injury history. Yes, there's a salary cap impact. But when you have the chance to acquire a Pro Bowl talent who already knows your system, I ask, isn't it at least worth looking into? Ryan Poles has options. Spend big in free agency on guys like Trey Smith, Drew Dalman, or Kevin Zeitler. Draft an offensive line. Or make this move for Jackson before free agency kicks off. Lift up. This is the kind of calculated move that could pay off in a big way. A player with something to prove, reuniting with a coach who brought out the best in him. This is a redemption story waiting to happen. I firmly believe the Bears need to be bold. We can't keep settling for good enough. We need X. And sometimes Excellence comes in the form of players looking for a second shot. So I asked you, Bears Nation, should the Bears take a chance on Jonah Jackson? Is a late round pick worth the gamble for a Pro Bowl offensive guard who thrived under Ben Johnson? Or should we play it safe and look elsewhere in free agency? The Bears' big free agency opportunity. Take a look at what's happening in Atlanta. Falcons GM Terry Fontenot has practically opened the door for Drew Dalman to walk away. Do you see what I see? This is huge for the Chicago Bears. When Fontenot was asked about bringing Dalman back, do you know what he said? Drew is a free agent. We know he's a very good player. He's been a big part of our offensive line for a long time. But Drew, or any unrestricted free agent, we have to have those conversations internally. Come on, I'll tell you this. When a general manager talks like that, he's practically saying goodbye without actually saying it. I didn't hear any commitment in those words. And I ask you, what does this mean for the Bears? Opportunity, folks. The Bears desperately need to rebuild their offensive line. Want to know how many returning starters are guaranteed? Only 2. Darnell Wright at right tackle and Braxton Jones, who might end up playing guard if the Bears land a better option in the draft. That's IT. And do you know how much cap space the Bears have to spend? $80 million. $80 million. With that kind of money, they could sign Dalman with their eyes closed. Projections suggest a 3-year deal worth around $6.8 million per season. I think it could go higher, but even if it reaches $8 to $9 million, IT's a price worth paying. Let me explain why Dalman would be a game changer for this offensive line. This guy ranked 4th among all qualified centers in the NFL, according to PFF, with a grade of 78.8. 4th. And in run blocking, he ranked FIFTH in the entire league with a grade of 70-9-.8. When was the last time the Bears had a center of that caliber? I'll tell you, it's been years. Dandre Swift was destroyed behind that awful offensive line last season. A talented running back reduced to mediocre numbers because he had nowhere to go. That's unacceptable. And now with Caleb Williams. Heading into his second season, do you think Ryan Poles can afford another terrible offensive line, nitrogen monoxide way? If they want Williams to develop properly, they have to protect him. And it all starts with the center of that line. Ben Johnson will want a balanced attack. They can't just throw the ball 40 times a game and expect to survive in the NFC North. They need to establish the run, and Dalman is exactly the type of player who can anchor that interior line against defenses like Detroit and Minnesota. Now, I ask you this, what message would it send to the fans and the locker room if the Bears let this opportunity slip away? It would be negligence. When you have $80 million in cap space and such an obvious need, there are nitrogen monoxide excuses. The Bears have been searching for stability at center for too long. They've had a revolving door of mediocrity in that position. IT's time to fix IT. Dalman is young, ascending, and will be the best investment they could make to protect their franchise. Quarterback. And don't come at me with, they can find one in the draft. No. A rookie center with Caleb Williams also learning is a disaster waiting to happen. They need experience there, someone who can make the right protection calls immediately. Let me be clear. If Ryan Poles and the Bears don't go all in on Drew Dalman, they'll be making a colossal mistake. This is not an opportunity that comes around every day. An elite center hitting free agency, just when you have the financial flexibility to get him. IT's now or never. And my question for you Bears fans, what other moves should they make in free agency to complement Dalman's potential signing? Should they go after another offensive lineman or focus on other key needs? The news we've all been waiting for. The Bears could land Ronnie Stanley. Listen up, Chicago Bears fans. What I'm about to tell you is not just any news. We're talking about protecting the future of this franchise. And do you know who that future is? Caleb Williams. But let me ask you something. How do we expect this young talent to shine when we're letting him get destroyed every Sunday? 68 sacks. Did you hear me? 68. That's 16 more than any other quarterback in the entire league. Is that acceptable? I say, no. Now, according to reports from Scott Enyo of Advanced Local, the Bears are seriously considering Ronnie Stanley, Baltimore Ravens left tackle and two-time Pro Bowler. And I'll tell you this, IT's about time. Do you know what having a true pro protecting Williams' blind side means? It means competitiveness. It means confidence. It means our quarterback can develop without fearing for his life on every single snap. Braxton Jones, I'm sorry, man, but you haven't been good enough. You have potential, sure, but the Bears can't risk their franchise QB's development on inconsistent protection. They can't. They shouldn't. Stanley has been exceptional when healthy. And this year, listen up, he was available for 19 games Baltimore played. Is he perfect? No. Is he 30 years old? Yes, but I ask you, do you want to win now, or do you want to keep developing talent while Williams develops PTSD on the field? Spotrick projects a 2-year contract worth $41 million. Is that a lot of money? Please, for an elite left tackle in today's NFL, that's a bargain. A bargain! And the Bears have the cap space to get it done. Let me be crystal clear. When you have a quarterback like Caleb Williams, a player, with his talent, his arm, his vision, his potential, to completely change this franchise, you do whatever IT takes to protect him. Got that? Whatever IT takes. The Chiefs might be interested. Baltimore will obviously try to keep him, but Chicago needs to be aggressive here. Aggressive. No more half measures, no more patchwork solutions. This organization has settled for mediocrity for too long, and I firmly believe this is the kind of move that separates teams that just talk about winning from the ones that actually go out and win. The Bears have a defense that's getting stronger. They have weapons on offense. Now, they need to solidify this offensive line. And let me tell you something else Baltimore knows Stanley's value, but they have salary cap limitations. Chicago has to take advantage of that. They need to go all in. Call his agent today. Offer that $41 million, maybe a little more if necessary. And I don't want to hear about his age. If he gives you 2 or 3 seasons of elite protection while Williams develops, it's a price worth paying. Listen up. I'm not saying Ronnie Stanley is the solution to all of the Bears' problems. This offensive line needs more than just one piece. But this would be a start, a serious start, and it sends a clear message to the entire league and locker room. We're here to compete. This is not the time to be hesitant. This is not the time to worry about the distant future. This is the time to attack, to be decisive, to show Caleb Williams they are committed to his success. Williams has already shown flashes of greatness despite constant pressure. Imagine what he could do with real protection. Imagine IT. It could be explosive. For those worried about Stanley's age, let me ask you, do you really want to stick with what we have? Are 68 sacks acceptable to you? Because they sure aren't to me, and here's my prediction. The Bears will sign Ronnie Stanley before free agency even begins. They'll pay that $41 million, maybe even a little more. And it will be the first step toward transforming this team from pretenders to contenders. Now I ask you, Bears fans, is Stanley the answer to protecting Williams, or should the Bears spread that money across multiple offensive linemen? Is investing in a 30-year-old tackle worth it? The future of our offensive line is at stake. Bears Nation, the moves we make to protect our future quarterback will be crucial this season. Should the Bears take a chance on Jonah Jackson, a guard who has already proven his worth as a Pro Bowler, under Ben Johnson, or is it too risky to sacrifice a late draft pick for him? The offensive line urgently needs reinforcements, and Dalman could be a key piece in this puzzle. What other strategic moves should we make in free agency to complement this potential acquisition and build an impenetrable fortress in front of our QB? And speaking of significant investments, veteran Stanley appears on our radar as a high-caliber but also high-cost option. Do you think it's worth investing so much in a 30-year-old player to protect the future of our franchise, or would it be wiser to spread that money across multiple talents to strengthen the entire line? Your opinion is part of our strategy. Bears family, this channel exists thanks to you and your passion for our team. Every comment not only fuels the debate, but also grows this community that lives and breathes blue and orange. Subscribe right now so you don't miss any analysis, rumor, or news about the Bears. Activate the notification bell and be the first to jump into the debate. See you in the next video. And as always, bear down.